In the military, the term "got your six" means I've got your back. It's a promise of trust, support, and camaraderie. The Got Your Six Real Estate Podcast embodies this spirit, offering unwavering guidance for military personnel, their families, and real estate professionals. Join your host, Kevin Onizuk, who shares market trends, expert insights, and stories. Now let's get started with Got Your Six.
Thanks for joining me today. Super excited to learn more about the Helper Act. So let's jump right in. Can you briefly just kind of introduce yourself and maybe start off telling us a little bit about your military background? You were a Marine, right?
I am a Marine. Yep, always a Marine. So yes, served 4 years collectively in the Marine Corps. Was a grunt, loved it, but unfortunately I left way too early in my life, and that's one of my biggest regrets. So anybody out there in the world that's thinking about maybe getting out and didn't do your 20s, stick it out. But other than that, I served honorably, got out, and I fell into the mortgage banking world. So.
Oh, I agree. I did my time and left, and then look back and like, wow, the benefits you get for sticking it out for a career are significant.
Boy, you don't love spending $20,000 on health insurance a year?
Oh, yeah, that's just so much fun.
Yeah,
When it's time to retire, you've got that burden forever.
Yeah, for real.
So what inspired you to join the military?
Stupidity. But, no, honestly, I just didn't know what I was going to do. And I still remember the day I was sitting on a couch on a recliner in my living room, and I called my dad at work. I said, I think I'm going to go to Marines. And my dad said, yeah, it sounds like a good idea. And that was it. So I went down to my recruiter, who I'm still friends with today. Actually, pretty much all the recruiters from my RSS, I'm still pretty close with all of them, but, walked in, said I wanted to be a Marine. He said, you look too much like a wimp, get out. And he actually used a more explicit word. And I said a very explicit word. And he goes, I'm just a kid, man. And I was his first guy he put in. So it's kind of cool.
Oh, that's very cool.
Still friends today. Matt Schott, retired as a master guns.
Awesome. And what was your job in the Marines?
Grunt, 0311.
Okay.
So I carried a lot of stuff.
Very good. You have any memorable times from your service?
Yeah, I mean, I just, the travel I got to do, the guys I got to meet, and I had some ups and downs in it, but overall, I would say that the military is something that should be very proud of. I'm very proud of it still. I just ran a Marine Corps marathon 2 days ago, and just seeing all those young Marines, a lot of butter bars walking around, and it was just cool. So.
Very nice. And now you're the president of Salute Home Loans?
Yep, I am. So just started a little mortgage broker shop back in March after 26 years in the retail space. And, it's been an interesting ride, to say the least. It's a different world. The whole market's changing, as you know. And, it's kind of funny because you have your mortgage guy. I used to be the heroes guy. So, but I kind of dropped that. Now I got to be the salute guy. So.
Very cool. You've actually, I believe it's you that is spearheading something significant called the Helper Act.
Yep.
Yeah. That's really what we're here to chat about today. So can you tell us a little bit about the Helper Act, what it is, the main objectives, just kind of give us a general overview?
Yeah, so like I started with, I served in the Marine Corps honorably. I absolutely love my service, but I also left way too early, and that's one of my regrets. I work with a lot of police officers, firefighters, teachers, EMTs, and so forth. And I just see these individuals in our community serving tirelessly. And as much as they have not signed up to go overseas to go fight in combat, they a lot of times are fighting combat on the home front. I mean, I'm running the New York City Marathon this Sunday. I'm very fortunate because I'm gonna have a New York City or NYPD bib. And a lot of people don't look at that as an honorary thing anymore, and that's a really sad thing to say. And it's an honor for me to wear, because I understand that service that those men and women perform every day, and the horrendous jobs they have anymore. I mean, you have teachers giving kids Narcans in school. So when somebody says, why would you honor these people? They don't join those industries to become millionaires. They're not. A lot of times they have to work massive amounts of overtime just to make extra money. They have to have coaching jobs and other things where you and we can go get more loans, right? So at the end of the day, the Helper Act is basically a bill that takes a VA home loan benefit of no money down and no monthly mortgage insurance, and it wraps it into an FHA loan to make it more affordable for these individuals to purchase a home.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a terrific benefit, and you're right. I mean, you've got police, law enforcement, firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, they're out there putting their life on the line, but it's not easy being a teacher either. And all of those professions are really community servants and giving of themselves to help make our community a better place.
Yeah, that's been an interesting point because a lot of the legislators we talk to, they're like, teachers aren't first responders. This is not a first responder bill. The Good Neighbor Next Door program is a program that's been around since I think 2003 or 2006. They actually combined first responders and teachers together back then, and they called it the Good Neighbor Next Door program. Nobody and the brother questions why are teachers, police, and firefighters together. When you say good neighbor next door, it's good neighbor next door, and they just happen to be the categories. For the Helper Act, for some reason, a lot of people think, oh, it's a first responder bill. It's not. It's community leaders, and we just carbon copied the definition from the Good Neighbor Next Door program. So, now we might expand it, possibly 911 operators, and who knows what'll happen down the road. But at the end of the day, we got to start somewhere. And these individuals are the ones that really, I would not want to be a teacher today. I'm sorry. But if some 12-year-old stuck a phone in my face, it would be very difficult as a grown man, and I mean, firefighters, it's, they don't have the easiest job either, because they're actually a lot of times first one showing up on the scene in certain cases, and they got to see some horrendous stuff. And it's just, it's just time that we start treating people that just want to serve in our community, make a fair wage. We need to start showing them that they're really appreciated. So home ownership is the best way. I mean, if we can help them be more affordable, by all means. And the biggest thing about it, Kevin, it doesn't cost the taxpayer money. That is the biggest crazy point about this whole thing, and why it bothers me that this hasn't flown through Congress. Because, if we were asking the federal government for millions or billions of dollars, right? I get it. Fight me all day long. But all we're asking the federal government to do is back a loan, which they already do via VA, FHA, USDA, and just allow these people to have a more affordable product. Because what's going to happen, let's use a $200,000 home, which a lot of times is non-existent anymore, but a $200,000 home, right? It saves them about $80 to $90 a month in payment, which to them is a lot of money. That's, almost $1,000 a year. And then you have the down payment to 3.5%. Instead of them having to go get that money from somebody else, a lot of times, if you look at the FHA statistics, the FHA literally gives every year a congressional, how would you say it, report card to Congress. And they say, this is what FHA has done in the last year. Like over 40% of FHA loans have some kind of down payment assistance right now. Well, the biggest factor of that is them getting money from family. Well, instead of asking all these families to give money just so somebody can afford a house, why don't we just do it the right way? And that's pretty much what it is.
Right. Yeah, we do it for our veterans through the VA mortgage program. Yeah, it looks like it's very similarly.
Yeah, very much. So that's pretty much, I mean, it really is simple, but for some reason, politics is politics, and everybody just wants to play politics anymore. And it's very frustrating, but we've been doing it for a long time. I'm not going to quit until the bill passes. And it's one of those things that I just truly believe in it. Cause I was fortunate enough to talk to General Mattis a couple of years ago. He actually gave me a call, and to say the least, when that man said to me, you know what, Corporal Royer, you don't have to continue to wear a uniform to serve. And he said, it looks like you're doing a really good job from what I saw when he Googled me. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that does sound very cool and very honorable to hear that, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was very humbling, to say the least. I hadn't cried in a while, but that was a interesting point.
So what motivated you to create this bill? Like how did you stop and think one day, hey, you know what? There is a need out here. I'm going to go and spearhead a bill through Congress to fix it. That's certainly something unique.
Well, it's mainly because most of my friends really serve in some kind of capacity. And, as I was sitting there working towards, just doing mortgages on a daily basis like I do, over time it got really frustrating for me because a lot of them needed to borrow money. A lot of them needed to somehow find means. I mean, actually, let me do this. Let me give you two real life examples. Okay. So just recently, I did a mortgage for a firefighter who had great credit, had literally no debt, and had some money in the bank. He had to have his dad's cosign just for him to afford a house in Florida. Okay. That just is sad to me. Then the second person was actually a teacher. She had $60,000 in a bank, had an 802 credit score, and she literally could not get an FHA loan. So and she had one debt that was $8 a month because her salary was not enough to afford a house and she wasn't buying a mansion. So we really do have a true scenario change here in the country that, we got to do something to help people out. This was the best way for me to, think of something. And, the VA has been so good to so many people throughout the country. Why not just kind of carbon copy the best of it? And, you can't use VA, so you had to use FHA to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Housing affordability is tough. So even $80 to $90 a month either helps with affording more or just keeping your overall lifestyle affordable in this market.
Very true.
Now, like, where is it through Congress? I see you have on your website, you've got a lot of supporters in Congress behind you. Where is it now and what's the outlook?
Yeah, so we have 93 congressmen and women on the bill that signed on. So that means we have 93 yeses out of 435, which you technically only need 218. So we're getting pretty close to having a lot. On the Senate side, we have 14 members. We have 10 Democrats, 4 Republicans. Right now, what we need Tim Scott to get on the bill, because if Tim Scott gets on the bill, then the rest of the Republicans will get on. On the House side, Congressman McHenry, Patrick McHenry from North Carolina. He's a very influential man, being the head of financial services. He needs to bring the bill to the committee, and then the committee has to let it out so that it can be a House vote. Unfortunately, politics is politics. And if these people don't like the concept or they have some kind of overarching idea that the government should not be involved in stuff, well, then it's never going to go anywhere. So we need as many people as we can to reach out to these individuals and say, look, this is viable. This is real. Please bring this to the members and let them vote on it. Don't hold it up in a committee just because you have a conscientious feeling that you don't want the government to do something, which really FHA, these people could go get an FHA mortgage, right? So their payment's going to be more and they're going to have less money after they close than they would with the Helper Act. The Helper Act's going to give them a cheaper payment and they're going to have money left over. Why would that be a bad thing? Like, we're making it more affordable, but yet you're saying, oh, this is really, really bad. No, it's not. Like, show me the data where these people, cops, teachers, firefighters, EMTs, and paramedics are going to walk away from their house. Highly unlikely. So.
Right. And the FHA is already involved in making mortgages. So it's not like it's something completely outside of the box or outside of the norm.
Yep. So when Chairman Brown from Senate Banking, he's the head of Senate Banking, when they recrafted this bill, FHA and HUD was involved. So they're very aware of this bill and they're not opposed to it. So that's, they're saying good, so. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. So the more people that are listening, they can reach out. They can go to passthehelperact.org. That's the official website. They can reach out. We can give them tools to send. Like right now, there's a meeting happening with the senator from Louisiana through a congressional office to see if that senator will join the bill. We're trying to get the sheriffs, the mayors, and other people to endorse it so that we can say, these local leaders endorse it, and then ultimately it puts more pressure on that local congressional or Senate leader. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there's information and suggestions on your website of who to contact and even what to say.
Yeah, there are, and they can even call us too. I mean, we're pretty much 24/7. I talk to people all the time. So, yeah.
Very cool. Was there anything else of significance you'd like to share about the Helper Act, or do you think we pretty much covered it overall?
No, you covered it really well. I mean, it's just really people just, if you're in the mortgage industry, don't use this for sales, but you're probably going to get sales if you're going to firehouses, police stations, and other places to promote the bill and trying to get letters of support. So utilize it to your ability. But if you can help us get letters of support, this is truly a grassroots effort to get this done. So, and it'll change the country. So,
I mean, folks that can reach out to teachers, police, law enforcement, paramedics, firefighters, everybody, and encourage them to reach out. Elected officials, they listen. I used to.
That's huge.
And everybody is important. Every voice is important, but elected officials know that these folks make the community work. So they definitely will get heard.
Yeah, for sure. So, but no, stuff like this too, Kevin. I appreciate you putting this on and, getting it out there. So
yeah, absolutely. Hey, man, I know you're super busy and I'm sure I have a lot going on today. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for telling us about the Helper Act. And we will certainly work to spread the word.
Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it. Have a good day today.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Got Your Six Real Estate Podcast with Kevin Onizuk. We hope you found value in today's episode. If we've got your six, be sure to subscribe and share this podcast with someone who could benefit. For more resources and episodes, visit our website at gotyoursixrealestatepodcast.com. Until next time, we've got your six.